listen for me.
Hello, welcome to Conjugal Bliss. I am Priscilla Ashonibare. Thank you for joining us. Today we are going to be continuing our discussion on stages in marriage. Stages in marriage. We started with the fact that every marriage will go through stages. And according to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, that says, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. We said marriage is a process and it goes through stages. It will transition from one stage to the other. We also made it clear that a particular stage in the life of a couple can be longer, while in the life of another couple can be shorter. So you shouldn't try to compare your marriage with the other. Yeah, you might be experiencing some similarities sometimes. Okay. Now we've been able to talk about 5 stages already. The first stage that we discussed about is the romance stage. And we say this is when emotion is at the climax. It is the time of discovery. And it is time when, you know, the couple, you can see them holding hands. The husband is treating the wife like a queen, and the wife is still trying to let everybody know that this is her Prince Charming. And we said this stage can either gradually or suddenly, you know, be over. It can be over suddenly or gradually. And that the next stage is the realization stage. It is when, you know, the couple will now get to see the weaknesses of the person that they are married to. It is when they realize that, my husband is not perfect after all, and the husband will say, it's as if my wife, she's not an angel after all. Now, when you are at each stage, there are crises that couples will face. If they are able to constructively overcome the crisis, then they'll be able to have a healthy relationship and will be able to move to the next stage. But if it happens that they are unable to resolve the conflict in a particular stage, it can either make them to be stuck in that stage, because they will go round and round and round and round and round, like going in a circle. They'll not be able to get out of it. Or it can even bring an end to the marriage. So we've spoken about the stage 1, the romance stage. Stage 2, the realization stage, if they're able to overcome the crisis. And we said the after realization stage, because nobody wants to yield, then we have the rebellion stage. The rebellion is when it is fire for fire. Nobody wants to back down. You know, it is when each, you know, spouse will want to have his or her way. There's power tussle and struggle at this time. It is when couple will now be adamant and say, this is who I am, you either take it or leave it. Now, if the couple are able to resolve the conflict at this stage, they are able to overcome this crisis, then they'll be able to compromise, to yield, they'll be able to adjust, accept, and adapt to each other. And that will help them to get to the 4th stage. The 4th stage, which is the cooperation stage. It is when the couple are now ready to give in. They're ready to yield. They're ready to, you know, plan together. They now see themselves as a team. And I said last week that sometimes, you know, it can happen that the couple are not actually cooperating. That cooperation is a pseudo one, is a fake cooperation, because they are cooperating all because of the children. Yes, it's good to put in and consider the children when you are making decisions. And as I said last week, there are 3 subsystems in the family. We have the first one, which is the family itself. It consists of the father, the mother, and the children. And we have the other one, that is the first one, okay, the family. Then now there are other three subsystems under the family. The first one is the couple, subsystem. That one is the husband and the wife. The other is the father and mother subsystem. And the third is the siblings subsystem. Now, most times during this cooperation stage, the couple might have forgotten totally, or might once in a while remember that there's this husband and wife subsystem. Sometimes they might even so much forget about that husband and wife system of the family that all they do and how they relate is just like father and mother. That is when sometimes you hear a mother will say, go and tell your daddy we need this in the house. And the father will send the child and say, go and tell your mommy I'm going out. So they do not have this relationship anymore as husband and wife. Yes, they are still husband and wife, but that relationship is no more there. The one that is making them to realize that, okay, I'm for you, you are for me, till death do us part. They're just cooperating, and the children is taking all their attention. And I say sometimes it might not be the children, it might be the job of the husband that is making them to have this pseudo cooperation. In that maybe the husband has a job, his place of work is far from the house, or maybe it is the wife that, anyway, the couple are not living together. And I said, if care is not taken, they will still have to come back to resolve this conflict. So please, couples, for as long as you can help it, live together. Because if you don't live together, you'll not be able to resolve all these conflicts you're supposed to resolve at each stage. You'll not be able to overcome the crisis that you're supposed to have overcome at each stage. And by the time you come back together, you'll be dealing with all these crises at the same time. You have to deal with the crisis of the realization stage, the rebellion stage, the cooperation stage at the same time. And that is why you see couples that have lived together, that haven't lived together for some years, by the time they come together, the center cannot hold anymore. Please don't sell your relationship, don't sell your marriage on the table of money. Yes, money is important, but if you're not careful, by the time you make the money, there'll be nobody to spend it with. I pray that will not be your portion in Jesus' name. Okay, we're talking about the fourth stage, the cooperation stage. And we said this is the time when the couple are able to plan to raise their children, they resolve situations, and sometimes because they do not take care of the husband and wife system of the family, they have so many unresolved and crystallized negative situations that they've shoved under the carpet, that they've pushed to their subconscious, all because their children are around. And by the time the children are grown and they're out of the house, they have their own homes, then the couple will now face a total stranger. Okay. But if they're able to handle the crisis in a healthy way, they'll be able to get to this fifth stage. That is the reunion and growing together stage. When they've been able to cooperate very well without neglecting the husband and wife role of the family. Now the children are grown, they're out of the house. They will be able to do what? To get the reunion. I remember some of our friends, they're at this level now. I remember there was a time when my husband and I were speaking with one of our friends, and we know the couple, and we told them, we said, it is back to the beginning for you because the children are out of the house. That is why husband and wife, please don't neglect each other, even when you are raising your children, because if you neglect each other, before you know it, these children will grow up and they will leave. They are non-paying tenants. You got to know your husband, you got to know your wife before the children came. So don't forget the person through whom God gave you those children. Before you know it, the children will be out of the house, and by the time you are faced with your spouse and discover that this person is like a stranger, I don't understand you anymore. We psychologists, we call it the empty nest syndrome. But if you have been able to, maneuver all these stages and be able to, see yourself as husband and wife, you've overcome the crisis, then it is when, you now see yourself as friends, best of friends. It is when, the boxing gloves, you've hung them, no more anger, no more quarrels. You understand your husband, you understand your wife perfectly. It is when you tolerate each other very well. At this fifth level of reunion and growing together stage, it is when there's love, there's happiness, there's friendship, there's peace. It will now be as when you newly got married. I call it the honeymoon part 2 stage. But it doesn't happen by itself. You need to make conscious effort to be able to arrive at this level, or else what will happen is hatred, distrust, anger. That is when you will see some women, they will say, oh, I'm going to do a mugwo. They say they want to go and help their children to take care of the newborn baby, and they'll be there for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Oh my goodness. And the elderly husband will be there having to cater for himself, to take care for himself, to take care of himself. It is when, you've not been able to, have that cohesion, have that, congenial relationship. You've not been able to bond very well through all the other stages. At this level, it will be very difficult to come back together, but with God, all things are possible. But when you handle it well, there's lots of respect at this stage. As a matter of fact, when you see couples at this stage, elderly couple, you want to get married. This is the time when you see elderly couple on the road again, they're walking, they're back to holding hands on the street again. They have a walkable rhythm right now. They have grown, and now they love and cherish each other. Now they've come to know that, oh, after all, you are the only one that I have on earth apart from God. As I said, it is the back to the beginning, the honeymoon stage. Now, in case that is not also something that you are able to arrive at, the stage 6 is the explosion or midlife crisis stage. This is a stage that I would not want anyone to get to. It is when you take each other for granted. You've had it rough throughout all those stages. You've not been able to resolve the conflict very well, and there could be explosion at this time. And another thing is, this is a time when there'll be so many changes that you have to handle. You'll be faced with so many crises. Children will be out of the house. Retirement is facing you, and here you are. Even sometimes some people can now have health issues. It is a time when finances might not be coming in as it should. It's a time when even sometimes there may be a change in the environment because you've retired. You want to go back to settle down somewhere else. At this time, one of the midlife crises is the wife might be going through menopause. Even the husband can be going through andropause, and there'll be a drop in libido. Oh my goodness. Now, should it happen that the husband and wife are not friends before this stage, at this stage it was really, it will be very, very rough and difficult, and it will bring about all kinds of pressures, fears, limitations, quarrels and fight. Oh, how I wish the couple are able to, go through all the other stages. This is the stage when there will be emotional separation. I remember there was a time when This elderly friend of ours in the ministry was talking about a couple, an elderly couple in his church, and he said whenever they visit the couples, that the couple, that they will find that the wife will be in her room, she'll be reading her Bible, the husband will be in the sitting room going through newspaper. That was many years ago, and they now discover that what is going on. So one day they summed up courage, and these were elderly couples. One day they summed up courage, and he asked the husband, "Daddy, what is going on?" And the husband said, "Oh, it is my fault. You know, when we were younger, I was making money and I was busy, providing for my family. I forgot to nurture my relationship with my wife. So when the children left the house, now I'm retired, I'm back home. My wife is already married to her Bible. She's already married to her church." And this elderly friend of ours said that this woman, once the church is open, I mean the elderly woman, she's there in church. So when the husband was not available for her, she got married to God, she got married to church, she got married to her Bible. So both of them cannot sit together and talk like husband and wife. They cannot sit together and talk like friends. They are total strangers. Now, this is the time when they will have difficulties. As a matter of fact, each spouse will detest the hobby of the other because they are going through the empty nest syndrome. And this is the time when you now see if the husband is an unbeliever, because the wife cannot see out he will go and marry a younger wife because he's thinking, what is wrong with my wife? Don't do that. That is not the solution to the problem. The solution is for you and your spouse to come together and say, okay, come. Yes, we've not been able to, be friends. Can we start all over again? And I know that the Lord will help you. Don't give up yet. Things can still get better. Now, let's quickly go to the 7th stage of marriage. This is the completion or fulfillment stage. It is the restful period. It is full of reconnection, unconditional and deeper affection. Having been able to face the storms of life together. Now, this is the time when the elderly couple will now have time to enjoy their grandchildren, or when the parents will bring their grandchildren home on visit occasionally. It is when there's acceptance. It's marked with reality. Each spouse are now they are now dependent on each other, and as well as being self-reliant. It is a matured relationship at this level. There's respect, there is trust. The other will esteem the other highly. But if they have not been able to, grow in a positive way all through the 6 stages, it is not so. It will still be full of turbulence and regrets. This is when you will see couple will say, how I wish I did this, how I wish I did that. But unfortunately, they might not have the time, on their side. Yes, there is no perfect marriage, but as you go through all these stages, I pray that the Lord will help you. Remember, you have to remain selfless. You have to prefer your spouse to yourself. You have to be ready to be patient, to live with understanding with your spouse. You have to be ready to yield. You have to be ready to give in. And you have to be ready to make sure you prioritize the well-being of your spouse. Remember, as you are doing everything to make your spouse happy, actually, you are making yourself happy. You should make sure that as you go through all the stages, you make sure you do not forget that one day you are going to be faced with the reality of you and your spouse being all alone again in the house. I pray that the Lord will give you a long and satisfying life so that you can be able to go through all the stages. And as you go through these stages, remember there's somebody who can always help you to overcome the challenges. And the name of that person is Jesus. Invite him into your home. Invite him into your life. Invite him to come and help you. Ask him for wisdom whenever you think you lack the wisdom to go through the stage. As an individual, as a couple, go to him and pray. At any stage you are right now, can you please go before God as a couple and ask him that, Father, help us to be able to make good use of this stage that we are in. Help us to be able to go through all the stages in marriage in a very healthy and positive way. And I know that the Lord will help you so that your home is going to be a replica of heaven on earth. And remember, I said, for as long as you can help it, make sure you live together under the same roof, in the same room, on the same bed. That will help you to overcome the crisis easily. And until I come your way again next time on this same channel, God bless you.